Hello guys, I'm going to start a new segment or series called What I Think, and it could be I think I want to do one for amusement parks as well, but we're going to do what I think are going to be for roller coasters. I think I might make a different title for reviewing parks, but I don't want to copy like the titles of people just saying a park review or coaster review. So I'm just gonna say the title of it is What I Think. And for this first one, I'm gonna be talking about what I think about Fury 325 at Carowinds. It's a roller coaster at Carowinds, which is on the border of North and South Carolina. Half of it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. The other half is in Fort Mill, South Carolina. This is their star attraction there. It's a Giga Coaster, and we're going to start this off with our first category. So, stats, we're going to get all the stats out of the way and we'll get all this out of the way. So, it has a height of 325 feet. That's why it has 325 in the name. Same with the duration. We'll get to that. So, it's 325 feet tall. Reaches a top speed of 95 miles per hour. The length has 6,601 feet of track, so just over 6,000. Well, so basically, it's very long. And then it has a duration of course, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. The angle of descent is 81 degrees, and the manufacturer that made it is Bolliger, Mabillard, or B&M for short. And yeah, it's a pretty big coaster in terms of stats. Now, sometimes stats aren't everything, but I think for this coaster, like the stats are really good. Like, yeah, I mean, 325 feet is the tallest coaster with the lift hill. Every other roller coaster that is taller than Fury 325 has a launch. This is the tallest with a lift hill. It's not the tallest in the world, but tallest with a lift hill. And it's like probably in the top 6 for tallest coasters in the world. So that's crazy. So moving on to elements. Now, main elements, of course, are the Litill drop. It has several bank turns, airtime hills. It has a helix, and it has an L-shaped layout. The layout looks like an L shape. Best elements on the ride, like best moments, are the first drop is really good. It's actually probably one of my favorite drops. It's probably my favorite drop on a Giga Coaster because I've ridden it. The 2 Giga Coasters I've ridden are Millennium Force and this, and I prefer this drop. Except for Millennium Force, you got the better view before you drop, but this one, it lasts. It feels like it goes on forever, and it is really crazy, especially when you're in the back row. But yeah, I really like the first drop, and as forceful first turn. After you go through that drop, you go through this big turn, and you really pull some. It's really intense right there. You pull some great G-force right there, and causes you to gray out a little bit. And then you have the treble clef element. I think I spelled it wrong, but it's my favorite element on the ride, probably. I love the turn going, like you're literally sideways, and it's almost like a wave turn on an RMC. It feels like you actually kind of float up out of your seat as you're going through it, and the twists and turns leading up to it, and you dive under the bridge, and it makes a great like plaza for the entrance of the park. Like you're walking up to the gate, and you go over and under this coaster to enter the park, which is really cool. And also the last 2 airtime hills, they're not the best airtime hills, but they give some like a mix of ejector and floater. Actually, I think that's really cool. So those are some good elements on the ride, and all the elements are really good and really intense and awesome. And now we're just gonna have showing some pictures of the ride. You have a picture of the treble clef. That's why it's called that. You go into this turn, then you twist up. Then this is the top of it, is where you feel like you're floating when you go over it. Then you dive under the bridge right there. here's the lift tilt and first drop, and that's an 81-degree drop, and it's really steep. I mean, there's a lot of roller coasters that are steeper than it, but the drop is so big, and like I like all kinds of drops. What I like about shorter drops, they feel like you whip over them, so you kind of come out of your seat a bit more on smaller drops. But on bigger drops, you feel almost an unending weightless feeling, and that's really cool. So I think personally I like the bigger drops a bit more, but small drops with like where you get ejected out of the seat going over a drop is cool too. But as this is that first turn right after the first drop, and here's another picture of that treble clef element. Specifically the part where it dives into the bridge right there. You see the people. It does have lap bars with BM clamshell restraints. It's 4 across. They run usually 3 trains on it. I every time I've ridden this, I've seen them running 3 trains, and you can see this in this side, and this picture is the entrance plaza to the ride. I don't know what that's doing, but I barely moved the mouse and it shows up, but you got that, and here's one of those airtime hills I was talking about. It's right after that helix. And I'd say the weakest part of the ride is that helix. But besides that, all the other elements are just crazy, rapid fire, and awesome. And I consider this one of my favorite roller coasters. It's definitely the best coaster at Carowinds. The best roller coaster in the Southeast. Besides Florida, the 3 main parks in the Southeast are like Six Flags Georgia, Dollywood, and Carowinds. I think this is the best coaster. I think the best park in the Southeast is Dollywood, but and Six Flags is definitely the worst of them, and it's my home park, so they have some good rides. It's just that this park is so much nicer, and it's Cedar Fair, so but Fear 325 is really good, and that's gonna end this first what I think video, and I'll probably do more of these, and down in the comments let me know what you guys think of Fury 325 and what you think of Carowinds in general. If you want me to do like a review of Carowinds, what I think about that, and do what I think for other roller coasters, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, roller coaster gamers.